6 participants, just us. 8. Well, welcome everyone as you're coming onto the Zoom. We're about to have a poll, so you guys can answer the poll when that comes up. And we'll get started so shortly as we wait for more people to come in. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'll read it out loud. Icebreaker time. What are you most excited for about summer? Catching up on sleep, lounging on the beach, tanning at the pool, all of the ice cream. Either, write it in the chat. Nothing, I hate summer. If you hate summer, I think something might be wrong. Let's have some of our special interns say what you would say because we can't vote. Megan, you go first. What are you most excited for about summer?
Wow, I don't have an answer yet. I would say I am most excited just to get to see like friends and family from home and just get to hang out and kind of have a break from school.
Yeah. Kylie, what about you?
I think I'm just like most excited to get rest and be able to just say yes to more things. Take a step back from school for a second.
Yeah. Fadi, what about you?
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to tanning at the pool. That's my go-to summer activity.
For
Yeah,
sure.
thank you. What about you, Reagan?
I would also probably say tanning at the pool or lounging at the beach. Pretty fun. Staying in SoCal again this summer, so I'll be at the beach every day when I'm not working. Oh, our special admissions rep, Michaela. What are you most excited for the summer?
Ooh, I think definitely the beach. I don't get summer break, but on the weekends, that's exactly what I'll be doing.
For sure. Anything else about summer? Anyone else have something special? Any fun trips planned? Does anyone have any fun trips planned? I'm going to Hawaii, so that'll be fun. Fadi, do you have any fun trips planned?
Yes, I am going out to Lake Havasu towards Memorial Day. That weekend, we'll be going out there for the week. And yeah, I actually think one of our special interns, Kylie, will be there as well. So we might, have a good time.
Awesome. Kylie, any other vacations besides Lake Havasu?
Going to like Havasu, I'll probably go a couple times. And then I'll probably go home to Arizona for a little bit. But other than that, just probably like San Diego. You never know, might do something spontaneous and go somewhere, but
Yeah. Megan, any fun trips you're taking?
Yeah, right now I don't really know much of what my summer plans look like. It's a little unknown with everything coming up, but right immediately after graduation, heading out to Arizona for a week for my roommate's wedding. So that'll kind of be fun to get to spend that time together right before then.
It's just gonna be a party in Arizona.
It's gonna be a party in Arizona. You should come.
I should come. Awesome. Michaela, do you have any trips for the summer? Arizona?
I wish. My hope is to make it out to Italy. But I don't know if that's gonna happen because I haven't bought tickets yet. So that's a fun little thought. But I have family out there, so that would be so much fun.
Wow. She's Italian. Didn't know that. That's great. Poll's ending soon, so get your votes in if you haven't voted already. Maybe put in the chat if you're going somewhere fun. I think Italy is the coolest right now, but Arizona, close second. We're closing the poll now, so let's see our results. Okay. Oh wow, we have some ties. Oh, others write it in the chat. I don't see any written in the chat. Let's see. All of the ice cream, 100% love ice cream. Lounging on the beach and catching up on sleep. So great. Oh, someone said nothing, I hate summer. Oh, use the Q&A to say the other right in the chat. No one's said tanning at the pool, so that's crazy. No one knows what me and Fadi, what we love about it. Sarah, our other intern just joined. So Sarah, tell us your favorite thing about summer and if you're going on any fun trip.
Ooh, I love, hi everyone. I love the summertime. I love the weather. I am going on a trip through APU. So I'm going to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and we're doing anti-sex trafficking in the red light district there. I'm leading it this year, and I was a participant last year. And so after going once, I was really inspired to lead a team this year. So really excited about that. And I'll be hanging out in admissions throughout the summer too. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, you are. It's going to be such a party in there. Awesome. Well, before we get into our little question asking time where you guys can use the Q&A feature to ask questions, we're just going to introduce who each of these faces that you see on the screen are, and just kind of like what we do at APU, different things like that. So I will start. My name is Reagan. I am a senior here at APU, so I graduate literally in 3 weeks, which is scary and fun and exciting. I work in the admissions office, so I'm one of the senior interns, and I've been working there for the past 2 years, and it's been one of my favorite things about APU. But I am a liberal studies major, so if you have any questions about elementary education at all, any teaching English as a second language, that's my minor, just let me know. But next, I'm gonna have Fadi go. You can say your major, what you're involved in at APU, where you live, different things like that.
Alrighty, thank you, Reagan. So, like she said, my name is Fadi. I am a current nursing major here at Azusa Pacific University. I am a sophomore, so I'm still serving my time. I live currently on campus. Some things I'm involved with. I play drums for one of our chapel bands here. I'm part of our MEL scholarship program as well. So, if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to throw it in chat. I'll get to it, hopefully. So yeah, on to the next intern.
Awesome. Megan, you can go.
Perfect. So like Reagan just said, my name is Megan. I'm also a senior here at APU. So also, like she said, graduating in 3 weeks, which is kind of insane. At this point, I'm another senior admissions intern. I've been on our staff for over 2 years. So any questions you guys have, would love to answer those. And then I'm also a nursing major. So kind of have the other half of the nursing experience from Fadi. So we can answer the earlier stuff. I can kind of answer the later stuff for all of you guys. And then I live in our on-campus apartments. So that's kind of where my experience lies with that as well. So that's kind of it about me.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Kylie, tell about your time.
Hi guys. So I am a kinesiology major with a minor in Christian ministries. So any kines questions you can ask me. Any Christian ministries, I'll let Sarah answer. But I also played on the women's soccer team all 4 years here. So if any athletes have any questions, I can answer those as well. I'm also a commuter. So I did live on campus, but now I live off campus. And I'm one of the senior admissions interns as well. So that's been super fun. Yeah.
Yay. And then Sarah, let's have you go.
Hello, yeah, my name is Sarah. I am also a senior here at APU. I was a transfer student, so I transferred from a junior college. I'm from not too far away, so it was a not so hard transition. I was a commuter my first year, and I'm an RA on campus now, so I live in our apartments for upperclassmen as an RA. I'm a Christian ministries major with a biblical studies minor, and yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. And then last but not least, we have our admissions representative, Michaela, here to just help answer some questions. So Michaela, introduce yourself, your time at APU, all of that stuff.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michaela. I'm one of our freshman representatives here at APU. I graduated APU in 2021, so it's been a little bit, but I studied social work and ministry at Azusa. And if you guys do have any questions about admissions, feel free to ask them, and I will be in the chat paying attention, seeing what's going on. But you are in such great hands. I have the honor of working with all of these student workers every day, and they're the best of the best. So I'm very excited for you get to hear from them and hear what they have to say.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Michaela. That was so sweet. Now we're gonna move into our question time. So all of you participants, ask some questions. Oh my gosh, we have a video. We have a video before we do that. So we're gonna watch a video right now and see life at APU.
I'm convinced that every time a student steps into the classroom, walks from one place to another, I'm reminded that God has already prepared that space in advance and is excited to meet with students.
My favorite part of being a professor is the one-on-one interaction.
I love coaching, and I love the guys that I get to do it with. It's my passion and my mission.
I made it a habit that the first day of class, I would learn the name and call them by their first name.
And in every interaction that I have with students, I get to have real conversations about where they're at.
Developing that community. You're a part of the family. You belong here. We want this to be home for you.
I'm not just a faculty here teaching. Every morning I look at the list of students and I try to pray for each one.
Make that heart and soul connection.
Pulling out all of who you are, your spiritual, your emotional, your capacity to learn. And we're saying you do not need to compartmentalize those things. Be your whole self in this space. God sees me, God is good, and the community here sees me as well.
I get to help students be exceptional at their craft so they can go out into the world and be difference makers.
The courses, they are rigorous, and the reason why they're rigorous is we know that they can make a very big impact. The difference is that we want them to be successful. We're giving them the tools.
I will ask them various vocational questions that draw out the elements of deep calling as they aspire to become who God's created them to be.
Helping others understand chemistry can be fun and that God loves them.
I really believe that there's a book of nature and a book of scripture, and they have one author, and that is God.
It's those light bulbs that go out, and then they're launched into careers that they didn't think that they would do.
They will recognize how they're spiritual, they're emotional, their talents, how they're all interconnected, meaningful to every industry, not just Christian ministry, but every industry that they may be called into.
When your passion and your gifting becomes your mission,
To do the best job I can and to serve God with the talents He gave me.
that's the game changer. That's a life changer.
Lord, thanks for the opportunity before us. And it's more than just the education.
Let's have a good time. Just maybe they feel your peace. We love you so much, Lord.
The conversations would take place, dignity would be brought back.
Every day I show up to work remembering that Azusa Pacific University was founded as a training school for Christian workers in 1899, dedicated to cultivating difference makers who make an impact in every sphere of society, both locally and globally, committed to engaging unreached people all over the world.
And so the world is here at APU. We have an opportunity to glorify God in those differences and experience the spirit of Pentecost.
We're positioned in the greater Los Angeles County in beautiful San Gabriel Valley.
Our proximity allows us to hire working professionals. It allows our students to go be inspired, to have internships.
Where our students are going into those spaces, showing the love of Christ and softening hearts and being mindful and prayerful in how they're making decisions on behalf of others.
By offering transformational education, we really help students to be equipped, not just with the knowledge and the information, but have the character to bring hope and light.
And it is knowing who you are and whose you are as a child of God that allows students to be confident as disciples, scholars, leaders, and citizens.
God wants artists,
Athletes,
nurses,
Scientists,
Pastors, leaders,
that define themselves not by fame, not by celebrity, but by Him.
And the phrase I use is a long obedience in the same direction.
APU is equipping leaders to go, therefore, and transform the world.
Awesome. Well, I hope you love that video as much as we love that video and the amount of times we've seen it. Awesome. So now we're gonna go into our Q&A questions. So keep asking away. Yeah, we're gonna have someone ask their question. Oh, for sure. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next question. If you have a question, just type it in the chat. And yeah. Let's see. So I'm reading these. Sorry, I'm still working. Oh, let's see. I'll have Kylie answer this one because she was an athlete and student worker. Is it possible if I work as a student worker being a student athlete as well at APU? So Kylie, you have lots of experience with that. Let's have you answer that one.
So I was an athlete all 4 years, and I've been a student worker at APU as well during that time, and it's completely doable. So everywhere at APU that you can work as a student worker, we have 1,200 on-campus job opportunities. So obviously all of us work in admissions, but you can work in the dining hall, the library, event services. There's a bunch of different options. And the good thing about working on campus is they really understand that you're a student first. And even working in admissions, they understood that I was a student and I was an athlete first. So my schedule and everything like that was always put around my classes as well as my sporting events. So even for soccer, we're in the Pac West Conference. We go to Hawaii for 8 days. And like the admissions, my bosses and everything, they understood like that week I just couldn't work. So it's really nice that they see us as student athletes first, but we are still able to work and make money during that time. So it is completely doable. You just have to be really good at time management.
Awesome. Thank you, Kylie, for that perspective. Next, I'm gonna have our two nursing majors answer this one. Megan, I'll have you go first. So do you feel like if you were struggling, you could get help easily? How is the support within APU's nursing department?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember that being something that I was really worried about when I was looking for where I wanted to go, because nursing is not going to be easy no matter where you choose to go. It just is a hard major with that, as it should be for what you are learning to do. So through my time at APU, it's definitely looked different, whether it was my freshman year to now my senior year. Our tutoring center is absolutely amazing. So they have tutoring for all of our nursing courses. So we're able to go, and there's upperclassmen students for those younger classmen students who are there offering tutoring on the spot for different classes, group study sessions, all sorts of different things. But the other thing that I've really loved about that within our community here at APU is it's so normal to go to your professor and be like, hey, I'm really struggling with this topic. How do I go about studying this? Ask for help. Or even to go to your classmates. Like an hour before this, I had a text in a group chat of someone asking for help studying with a test and people sending study guides and all sorts of different stuff. So it's really normalized too to like help each other in your classes, which has been really great. Body, what would you say?
Perfect. So yeah, to answer your question in regards to like, do you struggle? Is it easy to get help? So I think with every major comes its own difficulty, of course. So just adapting coming out of high school, whether that be as a senior or if you're transferring from a different program, you will find struggle in any program you do. So yeah, when it comes to resources, like Megan said, there's a bunch of tutoring with each course. You have specific tutoring. So whether that be a pharmacology class, you're going to have a pharmacology specific tutor who can help, who took the class and who can aid in that way. Peers are a good resource as well. Upper cohorts, like Megan said, she's a senior, I'm a sophomore. So I go to her if I have questions, whether that be in regards to different hospitals, different assignments, different classes, different professors, etc. So having that connection with an upperclassman definitely helps. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Thank you so much, nursing majors. Let's see. Oh, Sarah. I'm gonna have you answer this next question. We have someone interesting in majoring in biblical studies. I know you're Christian ministries, but kind of along the same. Can anyone give me an idea of what that major looks like, the classes, the workload? So your perspective of Christian ministries, can you kind of give us that?
Yeah, I transferred in as a biblical studies major, and so that's what I started as, and I have the minor still today. Everyone at APU has to take a few general education courses that are in the biblical studies, practical theology realm. So everyone, even biblical studies majors, start with like a Christian life, faith, and ministry classes, which is like an introduction to APU's kind of like roots theologically and what we believe. Also an introduction to like what even is the word ministry? What does that look like in anyone's life and anyone's vocation? And then you go into Exodus and Deuteronomy, Luke and Acts. You get to take an upper division of any of the choices you'd like. And then you take a theology and a philosophy major. When you're a biblical studies major, you take more of those upper division classes. So I've taken Ruth and Esther was my personal favorite. It actually is like what inspired me to want to go on the trip I mentioned earlier in the first place. Life and Teachings of Jesus was really amazing. Romans and Galatians, we have like Thessalonians and Corinthians, First and Second Samuel. So a lot of the classes are like two books of the Bible together, but there's also some, like right now I'm in a senior seminar class that's biblical ethics, and so that's not book specific, but just like scripture as a whole and the ethics of the Bible, which is really intense, but really cool. When you're a biblical studies major, you also have to take like world religions so that you know how to have interfaith dialogue with people that might come from different backgrounds in effective ways, and like geography and a lot of things like that, just so you know where different beliefs are coming from and how to interact with different backgrounds and stuff like that. You write exegetical papers, and I really love doing that. So you really get to dive into scripture and study it deeply. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah.
Our next question, how big are the classes? Would you say that classmates are close with each other and make deep connections, relationships with each other? I can answer this one, and then if anyone else feels particularly to this question. The classes here, we have a 15 average class size with a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, meaning there's 13 students to 1 professor. So it really does depend on your classes that you're taking and the major that you're taking. But within liberal studies, elementary education, my classes are fairly small. Some of them I have 20 students, some of them there's 8 students in them. One time it was a class with just me and the professor, and we still continued the class, and that kind of turned into like a mentorship opportunity. But the relationships that you make here within your majors are just like so special. And one of the things that I'm gonna miss most about APU, and just like not having this close-knit community anymore. And the professors also are just like, they so want to help you and get to know who you are academically, but also personally. So it's really sweet. I went over to my professor's house last night for dinner, so it's a very sweet community here. Anyone else feel like they want to answer that question?
Yeah, another thing too for all of our classes is the average class size is 15-to-1. So that kind of gives you like the average across the university. Some majors are going to look a little bit different than others. Like Reagan was saying, hers can tend to be a little bit smaller. For Fadi and me, they can tend to be a little bit bigger. So our like max point we normally hit in our classes for me is like 40, but we've been with the same 40 since our freshman year. So it feels a lot smaller, but that's like one of the few majors that it is going to look a little bit different.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next, let's see. Do scholarships cover dorms and meal plans? I'm gonna have Fadi and Sarah answer this one because there's ways you can get your dorms and meal plans covered. So Sarah, I'm gonna have you go first.
Yeah, so I mentioned that I'm an RA. RA stands for resident advisor. And so there are RAs for all of the living areas. And with that position comes a scholarship, which covers your housing and your meal plan. You don't get like a paycheck week to week or anything, but the compensation is housing and meal plan, which is really, really nice. And when you're an RA, you put on monthly events for your court or your hall, depending on if you're in the dorms or in the mods or the apartments. Like I said, I'm in the apartments, so I have like a whole building of apartments that I'm responsible for. So it's fun to like put on events and cultivate community. But you also sometimes have to be the bad guy and enforce rules that not everyone wants to follow all the time. So it can have its perks. It has its perks and it also has its like hard times. And so if you're okay with being the bad guy sometimes, then being an RA is not so bad. You have to be on duty every once in a while or on call. And so you have to like sit and be available for lockouts and issues that people might call you for. But I think the work is super doable, especially because I get free housing and a meal plan. So yeah, that's one. Body.
Oh, Fadi, how ways you can get your meal and dorming covered through scholarships?
Yeah, so like I said earlier during my introduction, I was talking about how I'm a Mel Scholar. So as a Mel Scholar, unfortunately, if you are currently a senior, as an incoming freshman next semester in the fall, the submission is closed for that application. But as a Mel Scholar, the scholarship requires you to live on campus, so you would get room and board paid for, and the remainder would go towards any other financial aid that you have to get covered. But yeah, that's one of the scholarships that actually does cover your room and board. Besides that, I don't think there is any other specific, room and board except RA, of course, like Sarah mentioned. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next question. Can you change your major before or after admissions? I'm gonna have Megan. Or no, I'm gonna have Kylie. Kylie hasn't spoken in a while. Kylie, want to answer that question?
So absolutely. I will say nursing looks a little bit different. If you have specific questions on that, just about like transferring into nursing, that would look different. But for the most part, you can absolutely change your major before or after. You can talk to your admissions rep. You can change after you're already admitted as well. I actually started as a biology major. So I switched after my first year into kinesiology. It's just a form that you fill out and you submit it, as well as we have academic counselors once you're a student at APU that will help you switch over, see what classes and how to keep you on track to graduate in 4 years as well. So in my experience, it was very easy to switch majors and I had a ton of help with making sure that was going to go well.
Awesome. Thank you, Kylie. Our next one. How did you guys find your classes when you first came here? Don't worry, you won't be getting lost. Our campus is great. People are very friendly if you need help. We also have this really awesome thing called Welcome Weekend. So you get put in an alpha group and you have an alpha leader who's usually a sophomore, junior, or senior, and they just kind of show you around campus for that weekend. And one of the things that they do is they like take you around a tour of where your actual classes are going to be. But if you somehow miss that or you forget where your classes are, everyone is so kind here that you can go up and ask someone and they would be happy to help you. So yeah. Let's see. Next question. Oh. Sorry, I'm reading. Is there a specific minor you have to do when you come to APU as a part of your studies, or are we allowed to choose what we can minor in? Blah, blah, blah. Megan, I'm gonna have you answer this one.
Yeah, totally. So you don't have to complete any specific minor when you're here at APU. It's kind of an extra choice. So you do, obviously you have to have your major, but then some people choose to have a minor. So like again, how she's minoring in TESOL, so teaching English and other languages, or Kylie has a biblical studies minor. So you're able to add a minor as like an extra thing, but like for me personally, I don't have a minor, so you don't have to do a minor. You can kind of pick as an extra thing if you want to look into something else as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Megan. Let's see. This question's sweet. What is something that made you choose APU over other universities? So I'm gonna have Kylie answer this one and Sarah answer this one.
Do you want me to go first?
Oh, yes, please.
So my experience looks a little different. But I really came here for athletics at the beginning of my time here. That was kind of my main priority looking at colleges. I just wanted to play soccer somewhere. And I really wanted to play a sport somewhere where academics and athletics were going to be equally possible. And there was going to be importance on both of them. So that's why I kind of chose to come here. But during my time here, I became a Christian. I added a Christian ministries minor. I'm actually working at a church after graduation. So my time here looks really differently, and it's really a special journey. But originally, I did choose to come here to be part of our athletics program. So we have a really good athletics program if you're interested in that. Yeah.
Awesome. And Sarah, next.
Yeah, like I said, I was a transfer student, so I was actually a history major at my past college. I wanted to be a history teacher. And then I got an internship at my church and decided that I wanted to be in ministry. And I decided that during COVID, so all of the campuses for schools were all closed. And so I kind of just did like a self-guided tour around. I did CVU. I kind of looked into Biola a little bit. I wanted to stay close to home because my brother was still in high school and I was super connected to my community. But at the end of the day, I walked on AP's campus and kind of just felt like God wanted me here. And it was a really sweet transition. And then I went through welcome weekend and it was just really sweet. And I met one of my best friends there in the commuter dome. I was in her wedding 3 weeks ago. And yeah, it was just a really sweet moment with the Lord to know like that this is what he wanted for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. And then Sarah, can you also, if someone was wanting to go into a pre-med major or biochem or something along those lines, what would be a good way to take that route if they were to come to APU? Or I'm gonna have Megan answer that question, actually.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, totally. So for that question, there's kind of a few different options that you have. You would definitely want to do something in our biology and chemistry department. So biochem's a great route to go with that, or maybe just studying biology. The really great thing with picking either of those programs is that here in our undergrad program, you're able to participate in undergraduate research studies that are being done by our doctoral teams as well. So one of my roommates actually did this while she lived with me. And so she was able to participate on this research study. And the really cool thing with that is if they get published, you get published on that as well. As with that, you're going to different conferences, you're presenting your research, all different stuff like that. So it's some great different work that you can put on your resume, as well as that also is a paid position. So it's a great job that you can do on campus at the same time. And I believe that in general, our acceptance rate to our students' number one choice of their med school as well has been 80% the past couple years, which is something that we're really proud of and really excited about, because obviously if you're wanting to go pre-med, the goal is to get accepted to med school after your MCAT. So they really are trying to set you up well with that, with mentorship to be able to pass your MCAT. I don't know if Kylie knows anything else about that as well.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for answering that, Megan. Our next question, how are the extracurricular activities such as sports teams, clubs, etc.? How much free time is there? How much free time is there in between the busy schedules? And how do you do all those? So I'm gonna have Fadi, and I can answer it also. Fadi, you take it over first.
Okay, sorry. So, in regards to free time, is that correct, Reagan?
Yeah. How are our clubs, sports organizations? How do you
Yeah.
balance with all your free time?
Amen. So there's a lot. We offer a lot here at APU, from intramural sports to a bunch of different organizations that we have. So the PIO organization just had our luau this past weekend. So actually, me, Megan, Reagan, and Sarah, we were just in it. Kylie was just supporting us, but we were all in it actually. So it's just one of the ways we all kind of get connected throughout our campus. Intramural sports is a night, not one night. So you'll have Monday night basketball, Tuesday night soccer, Wednesday night could be pickleball, etc. There's different nights for different sports. And yeah, so different events that we host. Chapel band is another way we can connect. So I play drums, like I said, so we connect through drums. Through different instruments, we all just kind of connect together, a different team. You build a family at the end of the semester, so that's a way we all connect.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fadi, with all of that connection. Another thing that you can do on campus is we have discipleship groups. I don't know if Fadi really touched on that, but we have those that are for just a group that you can be in, and you can kind of go through like a Bible study, you can go through a devotional, just kind of be with someone and really just dive into your faith in that. So that's really awesome. And all the other different clubs that we have, there's a bunch of different Bible studies going on. That's a bunch of things that I'm a part of. And like intramurals, Fadi said, different things like that. And yes, PIO, luau, it was great. Let's see. Next question. Oh, I can answer this one. Does APU have sororities or fraternity groups? No, we do not. We do have honors groups within different majors. So if you're a business major, you can be in an honors group within that. If you're a history major, kinesiology major, there's different honors clubs and societies that you can be a part of. So that's really great. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Oh, here, Kylie, I'm gonna have you answer these two questions. We have, how is combining academics and athletics at APU? And then also, Kylie, can you explain a little bit more about the women's soccer here at APU?
Yeah, so first with combining athletics and academics, I not gonna lie, you have to be really good with time management, and really be good at proactive communication. I will say one of the things that helps the most with being a D2 university is that academics is just as important as athletics. So I've had semesters where there's only a class being offered at the same time as practice, and my coach knows that I'm going to go to class and not going to be at practice that day. Another cool thing that we have, and I totally like to brag on her, is we have an academic athletic liaison, who actually just won academic athletic liaison of the year in the entire country. But she's just someone who really advocates for us. So like if we're having an issue with a teacher, like not letting us make up a test when we had a game, or it's just being really difficult with our schedule, she really fights for us, as well as just like if I have 4 classes, so I'm going to miss 4 days of practice a week, that's just not possible. So she really works with like the departments to get the athletes really set up well for success in their academics. But for the most part, my entire 4 years, I've never had a professor like not work with me in athletics and not like even just come to games and stuff like that. They really do want to cheer us on. And then the second part was women's soccer team specifically. So I personally loved my experience. I was here all 4 years. Our coach was here all 4 years. We are a really faith-based team. So we pray before practice. Everything we do is really about culture. So I personally loved my experience with the team. It's really rare that you get a team of 30 girls where you don't have any drama or any cliques, where you can have seniors best friends with freshmen and everything like that. So my time here was super special.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kylie. Our next question, how do you handle being the new kid, and going to the classes, different things like that? What is something that you would say to your freshman self if you were to relive coming into APU again? So Megan, can I have you answer that one, and Sarah as well? Megan, you go first.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So for me, when I came to APU, I didn't know anyone. So no one from my high school had came here. And it was also the first time that I had really ever been the new kid and been put in that position. And one thing that I will say that really helped me was reaching out beforehand, before I got to school, to some people so that I had a few friendly faces. So I know for me, my year was a little bit different because I did start during COVID, but we had an Instagram where people were posting like little blurbs about themselves and different things, looking for roommates. And so with that, we were able to kind of reach out, text people, get to know people. So I met one of my really good friends and my roommates during that time. So it was kind of nice because when I first came to APU, I had that one friend already. But really, it's just reaching out to the different people in your classes. Your alpha group also is a really great resource to get to know people, get to meet a few people, and get connected, as well as living in the dorms. You're able to get to know everyone else on your floor, and everyone else is in the same position you are. They're all new too, so it's a great thing to remember.
So like I said, I was a transfer. So I did have a little bit of a different experience of coming in, but it was still awkward. I wasn't here when everyone was making friends freshman year, so I came in and friend groups were kind of already established, and it definitely was a little bit hard at first. I'm pretty outgoing, so that was a new feeling for me, of not having people that I knew or knew who I was beforehand. Kind of being vulnerable with people for the first time was interesting, and like making friendships that I hadn't had for a long time. But if I can encourage in one way, it would be like Megan kind of touched on it, but really use the resources that are given. Like your alpha leaders and your RAs signed up for these positions because they want to care for you and they want to be walking alongside of you in those things. And so the RAs in the dorms with the freshmen, like a lot of them want to be in the dorms and like have personalities and giftings from God that are going to be really helpful for you as a freshman in that transition period. Your alpha group is going to be people the same major as you, and so really utilize those too specifically. And like Megan said, there's Instagram pages and stuff like that. But also like it's a sweet time of getting to kind of step into adulthood, and so you get to really kind of be the first one to talk, because sometimes you have to do that when you're an adult. And so you get to kind of decide, like, I want to take space in this room, and like I want to meet people. And that's a really cool part of it as well, I think.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah and Megan. Our next question, Kylie, I'm going to have you answer this one. What happens with unexcused absences or tardies? How strict is the school on being punctual and having valid excuses for leaving early? All that kind of stuff.
So it kind of depends on the professor, but like it depends on the professor. So usually in the syllabus at the beginning of the semester, it will lay out their policies on like absences and unexcused absences, and what that looks like, how many you can have, how many tardies you can have. So it really looks different for each professor. But like I mentioned before, like our professors are really understanding. So if you have like a valid excuse, if you get really sick, if you have a family emergency, anything like that, they really do work with you. I will say, like, it is up to you how much you want to put into the course. Like, there are people that come to college that are like, C's get degrees, like I'll show up as much as I need to and I'm out of here. And there's some people that really want to dive into their education. And that's something for you to decide. So sometimes it just depends on the teacher as well as what you want to get out of it. So it's up to you, but they are really understanding if it's something that really needs to be addressed. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kylie. I'm sure you've never had any of those experiences. Our next question is, oh no. How does APU treat theology students practically excited from lectures? Sarah, take it away.
Yes. I actually am not sure if I understand the question fully. How does APU treat theology students practically aside the lectures? I'll just talk about theology, and maybe it'll answer your question. I think that theology, so I didn't know this coming in, even as a biblical studies major, that theology is a major in itself. And so they're really cool classes. They make you think a lot. It's kind of the bridge between like the study of scripture and like implementing it into life and like what you believe. My experience in our theology department has been really sweet. I learned a lot, and it was actually really frustrating because I think it was the first time that my professor didn't just give me an answer, because theology is something that's in your own belief. And so my professor would be like, hey, great question. Here's 5 different ways you could think about it. And that was just it. And so I really appreciated my time in theology and even the crossover I still get to have in theology. You also get like church history in there, which is really cool. So I don't know if that answers your question. If it didn't, please ask it again. I'm sorry if I didn't understand it the right way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. I kind of put you on the spot there. Next question, Megan, I'm going to have you answer this one. As a student worker, do we need to go to the department that we want for and ask for a job application? How does it work trying to get jobs and different things like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So here at APU, we utilize a website that's called Handshake. And so once you're a student, you automatically kind of have your Handshake login and everything, because that's what our career center here on campus uses. So you're able just to go on Handshake and look up like on-campus jobs once you're logged in with your account, and it's going to pop up for you all the different jobs that are available here on campus, what they do, what their kind of scheduling looks like, all the different things. And then you have a form you fill out, you submit it. In there, it goes to the supervisor, they look through it, and they will reach out to you. If you ever have any questions, though, when you're on campus about how to do all this, what's going on with it, you can always go over to our Career Center and Student Employment, and they would love to help you out with what that process would look like.
Awesome, Megan. Next question's gonna go to Fadi. Do you get to pick what hour you want your classes to work better with your schedule? Maybe if you're living far, unable to live on campus, different things like that.
Excellent question. So when it comes to your certain major, of course, there are going to be like required lectures that are at certain times of day, whether that be in the morning, the afternoon, etc. So those are times where, you know, your required major class is given at that time, so you can't do anything about it. But when it comes to different electives or different general ed classes that you can take, such as Luke Acts, any of your biblical classes, any of your writing, math classes, etc., any of those gen eds like I was talking about, those you can pick and choose what time works best with your schedule. But like I said, there's going to be those required classes that you're going to need to take at those given times. There's nothing you could do to work around it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question in regards to how does scheduling work.
Awesome. Thank you, Fadi. I can answer the next one. How is it with phones and tech on you during class? Does it come? What do the professors do about technology in class? It will really depend on the professor that you have. This is college, you are an adult, so you kind of get to choose if you want to invest in your classes and be present there without being on your phone, or if you want to. I know some professors have a very strict no phone policy. Some professors don't care if you have your phone out or your computer out taking notes and different things like that. So it really is about you if you want to invest into your education here at APU. Let's see. Oh. Does APU offer classes like GED courses over the summer that can be taken? Sarah, you want to take that one?
Sure. GED as in like completing high school classes? No. You do have to have your high school education completed before you can come to APU. But once you do that, even if it is through a GED, that's great. You can apply to APU and have just as good of an experience. But you do have to have your high school diploma completed before coming to APU.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sarah. Last question that I want everyone to answer is, what advice would you give someone going into the college experience and going into college for the first time? Vadi, I'll have you go first.
Perfect. So last time I'll be speaking, so I'll make it good. Yeah, some advice. I think getting connected is the biggest thing that I've personally felt to be my biggest, I think, way of connection on campus is getting connected, is being able to have different groups, different families that you're, building throughout your time here at APU. So like I said, whether that be the Mel family, whether that be the chapel band team, whether that be being an alpha leader. Last semester, I was an alpha leader. So getting to be a part of these different teams allows me to connect to not only different managers or different, like your boss, whoever that may be, asking for a letter of recommendation. It allows you to establish a network. So not only do you get to have fun and, get involved, you're establishing a network that will help, benefit you in the future. So getting connected is my biggest advice when you hit campus.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vadi. Megan, can you answer that next?
Yeah, my biggest advice would be to try to be present in every moment. It's such a fun time, but it also can be a time that has just so many emotions when you're picking where you're going to college, and then the next thing you know, you're moving on to campus. You're trying to figure out your classes, all these different things, and it's going to feel like there's just constantly the next thing that you're going for, but then suddenly you're done. And so try to just be present in every single moment and just really get to experience everything that APU has in store for you. There's some amazing people here. So just really reach out, get to know the people, and just be present wherever the Lord places you in that.
Sweet. Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Kylie, can you answer that question next? What advice you would give?
I think my biggest piece of advice also goes hand in hand with my biggest regret, graduating. And it's just that I didn't step outside my comfort zone until my last semester here. Just don't define yourself by one thing when you step on this campus. Like if you come here as an athlete, if you come here and you become part of chapel band right away, or you join any of our organizations, just don't be afraid to branch out of that during your years here. There's so many people on campus that just are waiting to meet you and be friends with you. And the relationships you can have outside of your comfort zone are really cool. So I would just encourage you to get outside of your comfort zone in every semester that you're in, and not to just define yourself as one thing during your time here.
Awesome. Thank you, Kylie. Sarah.
Yeah, I think kind of on the same lines as what Megan was saying, especially is for one, college is expensive. I've paid a lot of money to be here. And sometimes I think about the ways that I could have taken advantage of things a little bit better. But one thing that I will say is please, please, please have relationships with your professors. I love my professors. And they are the best. And not only is it great to have a support system of professors with you while you're experiencing college, because it's a roller coaster of stress and fun and figuring it out and growing and transition, but also it's great networking for after. I've had some of my professors that have sent me job opportunities that I can apply to that they thought I'd be good for. And that's only because I've taken time to know them. And with that, also just get to know people around you because everyone's with each other in the same boat. And it's a place that you can meet a lot of lifelong friends. Take advantage of all of the things.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. I'll get into the question last, best for last. Just kidding. Anyway, advice that I would give to people coming into APU is just honestly kind of like everyone said here, but really just like invest in your time here at APU and don't take it for advantage. However you say that. And yeah, just don't take it for advantage. Is that the saying? I don't know. Anyway, don't take it for granted. That's what it is. Don't take it for granted. So yeah, because like a lot of us here we're graduating in a couple weeks and I don't know, it's sad and I wish I could be here for longer, but I know my time is done. So just really try to like, oh God. Invest your time here and all that stuff, and also work on campus. You can become employee of the year. But yeah, we just wanted to say thank you guys so much for coming onto the Zoom and just hanging out with us and laughing with us and having a good time. We hope that you guys will come to APU or at least visit APU and kind of see what APU has in store for you and all that stuff. But wherever you go, we really just hope that it's just like such a great time for you and the Lord guides you to where you really should be, whether that's at APU or not. But yeah, it's gonna be really awesome 4 years. Yay! Anyone else have anything to say? Okay, 3, 2, 1, bye!